Okay, Shane, what's the kick like on this thing?
Be too bad because there's some features it has. This right here will kick back and take some of the recoil out of it. Also, this muzzle brake.
Got a muzzle brake on it, I noticed.
So it's about like a 12 gauge.
The problem with muzzle brakes is it increases the sound coming back this way.
That's the one thing you're going to realize.
I know that
the
for
sound
fact.
is pretty powerful.
The problem I got here is it's been a long time since I've shot a 50 caliber, and I'm sure that I'm not as good as I used to be. So if you don't mind, I'm going to imagine my target out there, and I'll tell you whether or not I hit it from center. Okay? You don't have a problem with that?
No.
Okay. Perfect.
John, it's daytime, and these armor-piercing tracers, U.S. Army issue, won't be as spectacular as nighttime. But you want to shoot a couple of these?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll do that next.
Never shot a tracer round.
Photon torpedoes away.
I like these 50s. My type of gun.
Well, John, you just got done shooting the 50 over there. We're going to put that on the TV show next week. But right now, you're got that 223 M4 Scorpion. You ready to try it out?
Well, I don't even know what's here. Compared to the 50 caliber, this feels like a feather.
That's right. You just handheld and shot the heavy 50 over there.
Right. So this is a piece of cake. These are one of my favorite guns. The AR-15 or its equivalent. It's an equivalent here.
Yep, M4.
Yep.
All right, buddy. We'll let her rip.
Well, there are really only two assets in the crypto space that are worth anything. Bitcoin is not one of them, but it's a very volatile, old technology. That was the first, and it showed us the way. But that door that was opened by Bitcoin, that fertile field, has been sown with ideas that are unbelievable. We have things like privacy coins and smart contracts, all of them on the blockchain. We have distributed applications on the blockchain. I mean, it's some heavy stuff. But the only two that really won't make any sense are privacy coins, things like Monero, that give you total anonymity in your transactions, and they simply cannot be broken, and not unless quantum computers show up very quickly. They can't be broken. So using a privacy coin and a distributed exchange, one that can't be shut down, one that takes no information from you whatsoever in order to exchange data, will absolutely prevent governments or anyone from what your financial business arrangements are. I get paid in Monero only. I mean, if you want me to consult, to promote, advise, you better be able to pay me in Monero, or else I'm not working for you. But the newer coins are just so vastly superior. I mean, Bitcoin has no privacy. It has no smart contracting, no distributed application capability. It is simply a blockchain of the most basic and rudimentary kind. And that's what we had for years until the altcoins started coming out. But no, the newer coins are vastly superior. They're faster, less transaction fees. Oh, and stable coins, I'm sorry. Stable coins. Coins like DAI and SAI that never vary more than 1% from the US dollar. And you can get stable coins tied to anything you want, gold, you name it. So you don't have to get out of crypto anymore. When it gets volatile, when you've done your business, move everything into to DAI or SAI or other stable coins. Finance has a stable coin. When you've done a transaction, when I get paid in Monero, I immediately convert it into DAI. Not US dollars, not anything else, it's DAI. Now, the US dollar is going south, so I'm going to move to a stable coin based upon another asset class that I do not think will be affected by this emerging over the horizon, people. There's some bad stuff coming, I promise you. You cannot lock down the entire, this has never been done before, where virtually the entire northern hemisphere has been locked down. People are inside their homes. And what are we doing inside our homes? Are we producing the goods, the shoes, the shoelaces, the coats, the yachts that the super wealthy use? No, we're producing jack shit. Nothing. And do you think that a month of this is not going to create the worst kind of financial havoc? Then you need to move out of your mother's basement and smell the coffee bean. And it is not going to go south because you cannot inflate it and you cannot deflate it. Yes, it's volatile as hell. Some of them, like Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is 21 million coins. Never, mathematically, can it ever reach 21 million and one. Can't happen. And this is the same with virtually all cryptocurrencies. Cannot inflate them, cannot deflate them, cannot control them. And they are permissionless. You need no one's permission to use them. And they're trustless, meaning you do not need to know who it is you're doing business with, because the trust factor is built into the smart contracts, which are part of the blockchain. Now, I like to take my cues on history. And history tells us one thing. Society and social interactions and politeness and adherence to rules is a thin veneer over the human animal. And we are animals, I'm sorry. Yes, we love and we're compassionate, we're generous and caring, we have hopes and dreams. At the same exact time, we are greedy and envious and jealous. We are anxious and fearful. Now, you take that part away, then no, there's not going to be anything bad happen. But unfortunately, that part has been with the human species since the beginning of time. And every single catastrophe in which food or water or life-giving supplies are in short supply, the human veneer breaks down. And that thin layer of culture, society, human interaction disappears. And you have a hungry animal in the streets. Now you tell me what might happen. Well, I think it is the greatest fraud ever perpetrated on humankind. And I'm a mathematician. I'm sorry, I like numbers. Do you realize there's less than 100,000 people who have died from COVID? Less than 100,000 in a world of 7.8 billion people. Do you realize in that same period of time where these 100,000 died, 630,000 died from the flu. 1.1 million died from diarrhea. 500,000 people every year. Diarrhea kills 2.3 million every year. Starvation, 12 million every year. Do you realize that 100,000 people or 1 million is nothing? It is a drop in the bucket of our reality of threats. Why do we pick this one? Because the news, whether you guys got together and behind some boardroom door or whatever, are sensationalizing it. And our politicians who get their data from the news, just like I do, bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Well, I think the first thing we have to do is accept the fact that we are vulnerable. The reason I ran for president in the Libertarian Party, I mean, you know, I know, everybody knows I could not possibly be president with the baggage that I carry. However, it gave me a platform from which I could speak about something extremely important, which is America's lack of cybersecurity, lack of cyber awareness. We are bamboozled by our government. They can put out these 25-page reports, and suddenly every news agency, except for the places like Alex Jones or RT, where I was talking last night, everybody's just repeating it as if it's true, without thinking it through, without understanding the basic precepts of cybersecurity and what is possible and what is not possible. And what is in this report, this 25-page report, is simply not possible. Now, the only people who understand that are the cybersecurity specialists. But who listens to us?
Yeah.
Has anybody called me in from mainstream media? I've been on RT twice. I've been on London radio, International Business Times in London. But here in America, nobody. Why? Because my narrative denies the main narrative that the mainstream media is pushing. Understand that the intelligence services have a chain of command, and people have orders that they simply follow. And if someone comes into your office and says, we have information, we can't divulge where we got it, where the Russians are hacking our election, we need you to verify this. Well, that's your job. You're going to try to come up with whatever you can, no matter how absurd. I mean, we can't blame our intelligence services because this is a politicized operation. And who do most of the covert agencies report to? The executive branch of the government, President Obama. So, you know, you're risking your job if you buck the train. If you say to your boss, well, what I found out is that they didn't hack it. Well, what's going to happen to you? You're going to be demoted, at least. You're going to be ignored. You're going to be shoved aside. You may be fired. So you cannot blame all of these people. They're in a tight spot. It is a politicized process in which we are all entrapped. Oh, but look at me. I mean, I am constantly trashing our intelligence services with all due respect to you as intelligence people, because you have not kept up with the times. Now, Donald Trump is president-elect. He can protect himself. What about me? I'm sitting alone in a home in the country. What do you think could happen to me? In all seriousness, do you think that just because we are in America, that people are not disappeared, scheduled for suicide,
absolutely,
or insanity, or God knows what? And yet I am speaking out because I love this country. I am the prototypical patriot. I am the embodiment of the American dream. If there's someone more patriotic than me, tell me. And if anyone believes I am not, then you come to my door and tell me to my face that I am not a patriot. MGT is the state-of-the-art new security system. The old paradigm of antivirus software is dead. I created it. I should know. The reason we have had all of these hacks with the Office of Personnel Management, the FBI, Homeland Security, they were all protected by the state-of-the-art software, and it didn't help. At MGT, we are developing a new paradigm that will, in fact, give protection not just to the average American, but to the American government as well.
And got the Urban Dictionary definition for McAfee. McAfee, a barely passable virus scanning program that updates at the worst possible times. Tends to render your computer completely useless whenever it starts an update, which it doesn't ask to start, and you cannot cancel or pause. and I do what I want, when I want. The Traveler's Guide to Cheap.
Died when you were 15?
15. Yeah, he shot himself.
He shot himself?
Yeah. People always look to the past to explain the present. It doesn't work that way. Having dealt with governments, I think all governments are the same. They do not have much of a heart, sir.
John McAfee found dead today in a prison cell in Spain.
Entrepreneur John McAfee has reportedly been found dead in his Spanish jail cell.
John McAfee, the legendary eccentric tech entrepreneur, was found dead in his prison cell outside Barcelona in what authorities are calling an apparent suicide.